I thought I'd make a video today because some of you are getting iPads to support home learning, and this video will just kind of walk you through how to set the iPads up in the safest possible way to try and limit the risks that there are with giving a student a device to kind of use the internet, etc. One thing I do want to say first is that everything that I will talk through in this video isn't infallible. So, you know, the best control measures that we can possibly have is close supervision, but this will kind of help in that fight. So you need to go to settings first of all. And then on the settings tab, there will be a button called screen time. If you press on there, your screen should look like this. So you can see how much the iPad is used for on a daily basis. And then you've got the option to do a lot of different things. First and foremost, you've got your content and privacy restrictions. So for any iPad that is being used for home learning, I would strongly advise that the content and privacy restrictions are turned on. This then allows you to change the content restrictions for music and music videos, movies, etc. So, you know, you can allow all movies, you can limit the age restrictions by the categories that you can see there. It's the same with music and podcasts and stuff. They can either be a clean or you can allow explicit content to come through. And then potentially what is most useful, the web access there, you can have it as unrestricted access, which we wouldn't allow. You can limit the adult websites so that it would take out anything that would be deemed inappropriate. You can add websites if they are blocked. So if there's a website that is being used that doesn't get through the filtering, you can type it into that box there, the www. whatever the web address is .com, and then that will allow it to go through. But if there's a website that has got through that you don't want them to access again, you can add it to the never allow in exactly the same way. And you can also do the same with apps. So, you know, they can only add apps that are suitable for different age groups. Again, this isn't an infallible system because the age ratings of apps it isn't always the best. So that will allow you to kind of restrict the content that they see on the iPad as well. All right. As well as that, if you would like to have some more controls on it, you can set what Apple call downtime. So if you want, you know, to make sure they can't use their iPad during bedtime, if maybe your child gets a bit possessive over it, you can have it say from 10 p.m. to 7 p.m. all the apps shut down and the iPad becomes unusable. So that might be helpful. You can set that for every day of the week or for custom days. Excuse me. You can change those times to whatever suits you as well. You can have limits for different apps. So, you know, if there are games that they get really possessive over, you can, you know, the specific games you can set that we only want them to have, you know, half an hour on that one game, and once that half an hour's up, then they can't play it until the next day. When you do set up the screen time though, it will ask you for a passcode. And if you keep that passcode to yourself, once any of those restrictions kick in, so, you know, it's got to 10 o'clock and the iPad shut down, and they're in the middle of something, or, you know, there's an activity they're doing and you've set an app limit to 30 minutes, once that time's up, you can grant them more time by entering in that passcode. So it doesn't lock it down completely. It still allows you to have that little bit of flexibility as well. All right, so that is the general screen time. What else I'll show you in this video is about guided access. And this can be incredibly useful if you want your child to use their iPad for learning, but as soon as you give them the iPad, take off the learning app and they'll go onto YouTube and they'll be looking for videos, or that they go into the game that they really like playing and you want to focus their attention. That can be found in the accessibility tab. Click on accessibility and scroll down to guided access. Turn your guided access on and set in a passcode. And for the process of this, I'm just going to keep the passcode nice and simple, 123456. And then my guided access is started. Now, what does guided access mean? Well, if I come out of that, let's say, for example, I want them to be focusing on their mark making, and I want them to use this app here. Once the app is started, if I press the home button, the round button at the bottom of the iPad 3 times, then this guided access screen starts. Now, if I click start, what that means is I cannot get out of this iPad, no matter how much I press the home button to take me back to the main screen. I'm locked into here. So all I can do is play, is use this app to draw. I can do mark making. You can set students challenges to write their name or to copy letters, etc. But all I can do is this app. Now, once I've done my 5 minutes or whatever has been agreed with your child to spend on that app, you can then take that guided access off. And to do that, you would press the home button 3 times again, and then it's asking you for that passcode. So again, assuming that you keep that passcode to yourself, that gives you a way to kind of focus their attention when a device is actually just a really exciting thing. So, because hopefully that will help you in terms of getting these new iPads out of the box, setting them up to keep them as safe as possible, and that way you can set them up in a way that works for your students and gives them a level of responsibility that you feel is appropriate and allows you to have that control that is needed. Use these for their fullest purpose, to support the home learning, to set them up with your own Apple ID, download the apps that you feel are going to work for your child, have conversations with whoever is leading the home learning for your child as well, and I'm sure they will be able to give you a whole suggestion of apps that are really helpful and really beneficial for home learning, that can fill those times where there aren't live lessons, etc. Hopefully the iPads will be really helpful and support the home learning process. If at any point you have any problems or we can provide any further help, please get in contact with whoever is leading the home learning for your child, and together we will be able to answer any questions, I am sure.